Hello, happy Monday. Hey, welcome to Mindset Monday. My name is Drew Demery. I am a business coach with our company called the Freedom Companies. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me on this beautiful Monday. Hey, so I wanted to start this conversation around the topic around stress or pressure, right? So before we get into that conversation, I was reflecting back on how many years I've actually been doing Mindset Monday discussions. I started back in 2017 on Facebook Live. I've done it in various formats throughout the year. So 7 years. A lot has changed in my world in 7 years. And I'm sure you can relate to that, right? Because I think change is inevitable, especially when you kind of reflect back on 5, 10, 20 years of your life. You're in a different place physically, you're a different place mentally. And so I hope this conversation, well, there's a motto I always kind of lean into that says you grow into the conversations around you. So that's why I think mindset is so important. That's why the discussion continues 7 years later in my case. So let's get into it. Stress or pressure? So why do we have this feeling of stress or pressure? Why were we born with this feeling, right? Because let's face it, let's be honest, stress can be paralyzing. I see clients, I see family members, I see myself sometimes. It just pushes us to the brink, right? It causes ulcers, it causes depression. It's got a serious side effect. And so I think one of the things going into a growth mindset is how do we harness stress or pressure in a positive way? How do we take the natural or realistic stress that we feel in our lives, in our environment today, and use it to better ourselves in the future? So that's what today's quick discussion and conversation is about, is how do we manage that? So I want you to think about it. All right. So stress and pressure, kind of interchangeable words in this discussion. Water, 211 degrees, that's super hot, right? Boiling, boiling pasta, right? So 211 degrees is pretty hot temperature. Yet 212 degrees, just 1 degree difference, actually that boiling water turns into steam. You and I know amazing things run by steam. Trains, many machines, many things in our world actually use pressure to move the needle in so many different aspects. So, what if our body was built to do the same thing? What if our body, the stress we're feeling, was actually used in a positive way, harnessed, where we could use that pressure to motivate our future, to push us forward rather than pull us back? So, using that train analogy, what if we were like that locomotive, instead of using that boiling water at 211? What if we took that pressure, that 212, and harnessed it to get us to our destination, right? Our success, maybe enriching our lives better. So I wrote down 5 ways that pressure can be used for good, because I think it's important for us to dive into what those are. First one is we got to recognize fight or flight response is a natural part of our body, right? It's a signal that our body is built for. It's that fight or flight. It's literally that old school, like caveman, cavewoman running from the woolly mammoth mentality, right? So it is used, if used properly, to guard us or warn us against something bad in our world, right? We've just got to learn, and we've got to continue to work on our mindset of knowing what the difference is, because our brain only knows really the fight or flight. It only knows to avoid pain, right? And we know in reality that some pain, some things that we need to do, we got to suck it up. We know we need to do, we have to overcome to and actually do it. And so we got to almost override our brain, right? Number two is it actually stress actually boosts this speed, right? So when we're under a stress, let's say a deadline for a paper or we're deadline for a work project, right? The stress of that deadline or the pressure to perform actually turbo boosts our speed. It gives us strength. It gives us a sense that we actually can have the ability to get things done in a set amount of time. So sometimes when we are stressed about deadlines, you got to reframe it and realize that our body, our brain is built to withstand that, because it wants to boost its speed. It wants to accelerate and achieve, you know, accomplish what we set out to do, right? Number three, it actually allows us to be more alert and focused, right? So there's stress hormones in all of our bodies, and it actually alerts, like, it increases your alertness. So it's like the hairs on the back of your neck, right? It's when we most need it. So many times when we're feeling stressed, when we're feeling kind of this pressure, it allows us to see things that we honestly wouldn't naturally or normally see because we're so hyper focused, right? We are more alert than ever before. So that can be a great asset if we really harness it the right way. Number four, less stress leads to complacency. I will tell you, as a business coach for almost 10 years, as an entrepreneur for almost 20 years, sometimes the least amount of stress in the workplace leads to complacency, right? Maybe when we don't have a deadline, maybe when we don't have a coach, we don't really have to accomplish those things. Maybe we can skate by. Maybe we have an additional or a different source of income. So the main kind of goal or the business we're trying to increase, we don't really put our foot on the gas because, let's be honest, you have income streams coming in from different sources, right? So I will tell you, less stress sometimes leads to complacency. I always give the example, it's kind of like a football player playing with cleats, one with that are tied up and real tight, and the lace and the shoestrings are really tight, and then some it's really super loose, right? Sometimes that stress or that pressure or that accountability tightens us up and makes us perform at a higher level. And the last one, stress actually creates new adventures, right? So think about a stressful situation, in a personal life. Let's say you were stressed and you were about to go up to a person that you find interesting romantically, right? So what if you're stressed about going up to them, but then you have that great conversation, which leads to the first date, which leads to marriage, which leads to kids, right? Sometimes when we're faced with a choice and we're stressed and we do it anyway, right? We're scared, but we do it anyway. It leads to some amazing adventures in our future. So maybe that one phone call you're trying to avoid is the actual stress of making that call is actually going to lead you to a domino series of events that are successful. Maybe you need to have that confrontation or that conversation with someone that you've been avoiding, and it's actually going to open up the conversation and relationship to be an abundance and positive things in the future for both of you, right? So thinking through how can stress and pressure be used for good in a growth mindset, I wanted you to think about that in today's session, empower you to harness stress and pressure in a way that it can be used for a powerful thing, right? We're going to end with a mindset quote, always on Mindset Monday. And here's the quote: working hard for something you don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something that we love is called passion. Love it. I read it twice. Working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something that we love is called passion. So what if we turned that stress into passion? What if we turned that pressure into a positive way that we can approach our lives, our businesses, our relationships, and ourselves? Thank you so much for joining me as we continue our discussion on mindset. Again, every Monday I'll be posting, commenting about different topics. Please leave comments, share, subscribe, like, and all those good things, so I know that you're out there. And give me your two cents, your take on how you deal with stress, how you deal with pressure, because we all do it, we all feel it, and how we react to it is really the whole concept and mindset or backing of what mindset is. So have a great day, and I'll see you next week. Bye.